Christmas Bonding is directed by Ollie Pajak, and of course, this is a film request, or basically a review request, from my good friend subscriber Ollie Pajak, aka Pajak Perspectives. This is basically wanted me to do the review of his Bond trilogy, that includes Family Bonding, which I did review earlier this year, so check it out if you want to. It's on the channel if you want to check it out. And of course, I'm going to review this movie, Christmas Bonding, and of course, hopefully by next year, I'll talk about 50 Slices of Bonding. So, Ollie, I apologise not getting into this sooner, but here we are. Let's talk about Christmas Bonding. After the Bond family mourn the death of Brosnan Bond, Connery, who's basically have a secret past that's seeking up to him, that with ill intentions, that are planning to seeking revenge and trying to wipe out the Bond family. I'm going to say this right now, I really liked the first film, Family Bonding. I thought it was a really fun, just a short 20-minute feature film. While not perfect, but again, it's just a short 20-minute movie as a nice, solid project film from Ollie, what he made. And going to this one, I expected a big improvement and definitely some low highlights. And to my surprise, this is a huge improvement over the last film. So this is a huge improvement. I'm going to say this right at the bat. The camera work here is amazing. I've got to say this. There's one few shots here and there where they have like a drone kind of flying where it's going through the sky over the cities and over the parks and the certain shots. There are a couple of shots where it does look a bit stopping and it goes again. And that's due to what they've tried still to use it. But again, for the majority of the shots, there are some really cool, decent shots there. I thought it was really well done and really well put together. And of course, the cinematography looks really great in this amazing shots with certain scenery, especially the action scenes, the certain houses, the certain outside grounds. Terrific. And for a joint fit, it's top-notch filmmaking. And of course, the actors who plays the Bond family, of course, Ollie is playing one of the Bond's family. That is Pierce Brosnan's James Bond, who got killed in the last film, who's basically get killed, if you probably remember the first film. And of course, just 20 years after that, basically Pierce Brosnan comes back to life and then he's been resurrected, which I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of difficult how he came back. I was kind of watching it again to see how he came back again. But I don't know, maybe I missed something, but I don't know. But it's nice to see him come back. And again, the Bond family, all in there, are fun to watch. They had their moments. I think all these characters do get a chance to shine in certain aspects. Throw some cheeky humour or throw some insults, especially Sean Connery, who is probably my favourite, the James Bond. I know he's a bit of a dick because in the first one, he's basically betrayed the Bond family. This one, there's some kind of ill intentions going into the family. You feel like the whole Bond family is tied against Sean Connery because you know he's up to something. Interested to see his character becoming the villain, kind of, or maybe he's an anti-hero, maybe. We'll see how 50 Slices Bonding does. And of course, you do have this one particular scene, especially with Sean Connery just basically mocked Pierce, basically with the butler, who is basically asking if they wanted something to drink. And all of them asked for a vodka glass martini, shaken, not stirred, which is basically the famous James Bond line. And of course, when Pierce asks for the same thing, he just gets whacked by the head saying, "Pierce, shut up!" I'm like, come on, leave Pierce alone. And of course, you get Blofeld, who's basically the villain from the first one, who is basically Sean Connery end up sleeping with, which is kind of weird. And then 20 years later, they had a daughter who is basically Judi Dench, Agent M, I believe it is, from the James Bond films, which is, I thought was really funny name for it, which I thought was kind of funny name. I kind of liked it in a way. And there's so many things about this film. It's definitely top better, and the action scenes are fun because you get a chance to see more of the action. The camera work works because the first one is mostly shaky cams. There are a couple of shots in that film was good, but there were a couple of shots that is shot at dark and it was kind of unseen. You can't see what's going on. The majority of this film, the light, so this is when they get more light to see. You get a chance to see what's going on, which I quite liked. I think it's pretty reasonable to do, and you do get some lot of fun moments and some great action scenes, and there are some really fun moments. And of course, you get some silly humor here and there, especially with that guy who is, I think it's that James Bond character, I can't remember, the guy who's drunk, and he does have that funny one line of dialogue where he basically says, "I can't believe it's not butter." Which I thought was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of go, oh, okay, that's a bit silly. But again, it's potentially funny, but there were a couple of times it does get a little bit too silly with the humor. But again, I appreciate it's trying to be fun. It's not trying to take itself seriously. But it does take its moments, but seriously, it is needed. It has some drama, especially towards the family. You do have some moments, especially that with the two James Bonds, Sean Connery and one of the James Bond characters having an argument with Sean Connery's James Bond, who's basically having an argument after the loss of Pierce Brosnan's death, which is kind of hard to watch, but you get that tension. That's when it really builds up. You get that tensions or what stuff is going on with these characters. There are so many great moments in the film. I can go on with what's worked so well. I think for majority of the film, it worked. I think this is definitely a big improvement over the last one. May not be perfect. Maybe there are a couple of dialogue. Maybe some editing could have been cut out because there's a couple of shots that are kind of a little bit off, especially the one scene, the guy who dressed up as Santa Claus running, and you see him drop his hat. It could have been cut move because there are a couple of times you stop back and kind of back in a little bit. If you watch the film, you know what I'm talking about. I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to watch the film yourself. And of course, the humour, like I said, some of it is really funny. There are some funny moments, but there are a couple of times I was like, okay, that's a bit silly because during action scene, there's certain moments it just cuts to a funny joke, which, again, that's subjective. But that being said, this is a huge, huge improvement over Family Bonding. There's a lot of stuff going on. You get more of a story, and it's an hour and 3 minutes. It's not a lot. It's not super long, but it does actually get the pace, and the pacing is there, and it does feel like you're getting a chance to get inside the characters' heads. You get a chance to see more of the James Bond characters. There's a lot more invested in what's going on, so it makes me appreciate this film a lot more in a way. So it does not end in a bad note. That being said, Christmas Bonding is a huge improvement. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and Ollie, if you're watching, well done, dude. Big thumbs up for me. I'm going to give Christmas Bonding an A-. Ollie, I want to say thank you very much for your request. I will do 50 Slices of Bonding very soon, some point later on the line. I will do that. Probably after the new year, I will talk about that. Of course, I apologise for not getting this up sooner, but here we are. Got it up for you. So hope you enjoyed my review. Guys, comment down below. Have you seen Ollie's Bond trilogy? And of course, have you seen Christmas Bonding? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below civilly, please. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya.